Welcome back to Glowing Hour. We're your hosts, Sam and Mel.
Period. She got it right. I was thinking, like, am I supposed to say something?
I'm like, I say something. So today,
Valentina, that's her name in the Ally. When she Valentina, say something.
Ally. Yeah, it's Valentina.
I love it.
It's almost that time of year again.
June.
Anywho, we will be discussing today the dating culture, not etiquette, but like dating. What's going on in the dating
culture?
world?
What
the
we're
things
all
we're
dealing
hearing.
with. Yeah,
I'm not dating, but
I mean, you are technically dating your partner,
right? I
kind of counts.
I listen to everybody talking about their dating experiences, though. Anyway, before we get into that, today we're having a marg. It's been a while.
Yeah.
If you know us, this is our tried and true.
Margarita Gorals.
We just love them.
I'm just staring at it.
Me too. Like,
We've already had a sip.
I already feel it.
We filmed a cute little TikTok, so if you haven't seen it or don't follow us on TikTok, go check it out. It's really funny. Yeah, let's, I guess, try it. Yeah. She's strong, but like kind of
like water.
Like it's giving a taste like a margarita outside.
It really is.
It's a beautiful day today. And maybe that's why we're in such good moods today. I don't know. But anyways, dating. If you didn't listen to the main segment, we talked about the bare minimum and the new standard, I guess.
And we cracked the code.
We did. So if you want to know, if you want to unlock something, the key is in that last episode. So make sure you go listen to it. But this is about to get chaotic. I'm 2 sips in and
I'm feeling it.
Didn't eat lunch.
Same.
We're so bad.
The biggest gulp right now.
You hear that? You just like super
it's like,
zero.
We didn't eat lunch. I'm like, yeah, you go gulp.
Zero in on the.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, in the last episode, you had said you wanted to save something for this episode. So what was that?
Well, you asked something. What'd you ask me? You said, I guess touching back on that, you were speaking on generations and that they kind of maybe not settled. I feel like settled is such a negative connotation and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I guess it came from like this thought of like a non-heteronormative like brain of basically thinking and seeing straight couples kind of being together and not like actually being best friends, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Where like
common interests aren't there.
Yeah, the common interests aren't there, or like there's such a like stereotypical way of being in a relationship where like she goes out with her girlies and the man stays back and watches the game, and it's like why, like, you know what I mean, like it's just so, why are we still doing that?
I mean, I think it's just like depends on each person's interest and what they're attracted to, I guess. Because I think on one hand I could totally be with a guy who has totally different interests than me, maybe not totally, some different interests, right? Like you were saying, Logan has some things that you're like, I'll lean in, but it's not like my interest per se.
And I was trying to think of some.
And you couldn't think of it.
They? Besides like the fact that she's like wanting to be a real estate agent, I'm like, I don't want to be an agent, but like,
yeah, that would be weird if you were to be like,
but like I'd be happy.
Now I'm gonna be an agent too.
I'm an agent. No, but like I enjoy going to those houses. I enjoy hearing about the houses. You know what I mean? So it's like there's literally nothing that she's like fully interested in that I'm like,
maybe she hasn't tapped in yet. Maybe that interest is down the line.
I just don't know.
I don't know either.
Is that just like a hetero thing?
I don't think so. I feel like there's gotta be like, maybe it's more like gender roles, and in terms of like if you were to be with a woman who has more masculine interests, maybe like it'd be like different.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yes.
My brain goes,
oh, question mark.
But no, yeah, I guess.
Right, like what if Logan liked football? It's not like a.
But I enjoy sports.
Yeah,
I'm just well-rounded.
Basically, all I'm trying to say is I'm really well-rounded.
Like, I can literally
enjoy anything.
Right,
and that's also the part of the bare minimum conversation of like,
God damn it,
I could enjoy anything. So, me leaning into your interests.
But
that's beyond the bare minimum, I guess. That's this topic, though. So
that's this topic. But like that's what I'm saying. I feel like maybe it's just because like gender norms were just so fucking like prevalent and specific that in like other generations, it definitely does feel like the woman takes a certain type of like
Position.
not even like role, but like they take their own like they have a certain different type of life than their partner, and it's not like an integrated piece. You know what I mean? I mean, and then I like think back of like the couples who are like obsessed with football and they're a football team.
Right.
That's different. But I'm more so talking about like literally the stereotypical like heteronormative couple where the woman goes shopping and the man fucking hates that and rather go like sit in the bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think those are just like people that shouldn't have been together.
Right.
Because I think about my own parents and I don't feel like, I think my mom and dad have filled certain gender roles, which I think we all do. Like we fill some and not others because they're stereotypes and we're people. But like if my mom wants to go shopping and my dad's free, he's like, let's go together. Or like whatever, you know, like there's like wiggle room there. Like I just want to be with you kind of thing. So I think in terms of like people that have completely different lives, I think it is genuinely like a either non-compatibility issue or there's healing that needs to be done there.
Yeah.
And you got to like dig a little deeper on why you feel like you can't have common interests. Like why you can't do masculine things and why he can't do feminine things or whatever.
As much as like I believe that our generation and also like some of like the last generation's a little bit different from that.
Millennial.
Yeah, like I still definitely see that in a lot of people. And I'm like, that's really sad. Like you should want to date your best friend and date like somebody that you really enjoy spending every moment of like that of your lives together. Yeah, of course, like there's exceptions and things happen and like, you know, you can argue and obviously you don't have to enjoy that fucking moment, but like in totality you should be able to enjoy the mundane parts of your life and the exciting parts. Like I don't know, I think common interests are like something that's so like, although it's something we really like, it's very prevalent, I still think like it's something that's like not necessarily put into importance because it's like people think like you can just have your own separate lives, which is like okay.
I personally feel like to a degree that's true because like my brother, for example. Okay, I'm like my brother's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about on your podcast that he doesn't listen to?" But like my brother, for example, he snowboards. Always has loved snowboarding. When he started dating my sister-in-law, he taught her how to snowboard. And so that became a common interest because of that. Like, they wanted to spend time together. Now, also, my brother's notorious for having a million different hobbies and falling in love with everything. And
love that for him.
So, right. So that's kind of almost, like, impossible to keep up with as a partner to a certain degree. It's like, I can't be as invested as you are in everything.
Yeah.
So, he loves golf. I think that's, like, a lifelong one, like snowboarding, too. But still, like, my sister-in-law doesn't want to go watch him golf. If she personally doesn't want to physically golf, like,
That's completely okay.
Right. That I'm just saying, you're not saying that like every single little interest. It's just in your relationship, it happens to be that you guys are pretty much interested in everything.
Yes. I'm also just like seeing, yes, but also I'm just saying like there's also the extreme version of like that type of relationship where it does feel like every single thing that each person is interested is not a commonality.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like there's not even a common interest. Like we both like watching the same
It's more
shows.
so like I think you're a great person and I love you and like now we have a family, which is like again bare minimum. But I think like there's a need for common interests, common like way of wanting to live each other like lives.
Yeah, I don't know that our generation. I personally don't know. I don't think anyone that's not considering common interests. I actually just had a conversation with somebody. I won't name names. I had a conversation with somebody about a date that they went on, and they were contemplating whether they like this person or not. And they're like, we don't even like the same music. We don't really do the same things. They don't like festivals. They don't like dancing. And like, of course, if even 7 out of 10 of those things you have in common, I think that's fine. It's just like when it's like 2 out of 10 things we have in common, I feel like it's harder to like find things to do together that you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
And not to say that you can't like build common interests together, but I think it is a pretty big foundation in dating today.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where the dating culture has like shifted, at least for like our generation or whatever. But I do see And I think that that's like kind of the pressure from like parents who are like more like either like really early millennials or like late boomers or boomers, that they like kind of just take on like, this is a nice person. Why aren't you starting your life with somebody like a nice person with a nice person? Which I get.
It's a nice person.
It's a nice person,
Yeah.
but this is lifelong.
Compatibility is crazy.
It's lifelong though. Like,
because I think the older generations, they didn't have access. We've talked about this so many times. They don't have access to all the dating apps and the feeling of like, my options are limitless.
although that's
Yeah.
a problem sometimes.
And that is a problem for our generation of like, on the flip side of not settling from the get, there's also the problem of never settling because you always feel like the
There's
better
more
person
options.
is out there. And you somehow have to balance those two. And I don't know what that fine balance is. I think it's different for everyone and like the situation you're in with whoever you're in it with.
Yeah.
But like, our generation is probably struggling a little bit. The apps, I think, have just made it so hard to like, one, even use the apps because it's like everyone's on them with completely different intentions. And I do appreciate like Bumble and Hinge putting like, you know, what they're seeking, like a short-term relationship, long-term, like whatever. But at the same time, someone can say that and then change their mind, or someone can say that and then meet you and be like, but you're not my person, but they don't say that. And it's like, we are still walking all these like funny lines. And I feel like back in the day, they were very blunt.
I feel like also the goal was very different back in the day.
It was get married, have kids, buy a house.
It's like you're dating to be married. And now it's
we have
like
so many options now, like just date.
Yeah, now it's like the option of like, you're not the one, but you're the one right now. Cue Fletcher. But like, it genuinely is that. I feel like a lot of people are in, and like they are okay with that.
That's
nothing wrong with that.
That's okay.
But I definitely think
the other person's on the same page.
Right. Which I don't know that they always are.
Sometimes it's a little messy, but whatever. Anyways.
But it's fine. But I definitely feel like that option is so much more prevalent now because people are still like afraid to be alone, but or not like afraid to like not explore options because they feel like, again, like the options are limitless. Like, let's go through every option until I find the one, versus being like so sure of like what you want in specificity and then seeing that person for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's like just
there's
just like you can't, I don't know, it's like generalizations. Like your situation could be exactly that. Like you see the person and they're giving you everything you want. Because I feel like I've had that. Like I felt like, oh, they're giving me everything I want. And then I was like, just kidding.
Just kidding.
Like, we just need a little more time to figure that out. And it wasn't. But yeah. Our generation, I think, has to realize that everyone does have different intentions. And I think there is confusion within ourselves of like, well, now I don't have to get married and blah, blah, blah. I personally still feel time, like biological clock ticking. I personally still feel that way. Because I'm like, it's still a fact that when you're 35,
biology is real.
Harder. Yes, biology is very real. Whether we all want to accept that or not.
Unless you freeze your eggs and then you kind of like just chill for a sec.
Right.
Which
even then I want to be a young hot mom. Fucking Southern California as hell. Jesus Christ, help us. Oh no. A young hot mom.
The margarita hit.
It's basically empty. So.
Mine's empty. So.
Oh well.
Chug. Okay.
Anyway, so I want to be a young hot mom. So it's like the biological clock is definitely still ticking, but at the same time, I'm like, it's like the dichotomy of like, I want to be young and fun and free, and which
30,
we talk
flirty and thriving.
Yes, and then I also want to be like taken care of and married and
have house
and chewing. I want that. I do. I want both. So it's like, I know I can have both. And that's also the part.
You are experiencing one side of that already. So just like be.
But am I? Then I think, but am I?
Okay. But going to that part of this conversation, we off camera were like talking about it this morning, or not even this morning, but when I got here this afternoon, about how people take like their interim between like dating or like between relationship period very differently. And honestly, I could see both sides. Like, there's the one side of like people believe that they need to experience a lot of people and like date a lot of people, and then there's the other side of like just being alone and then being like ready for the person that they want to be with. And there's nothing wrong with either things, but I do think that societally, like, there's been such a pressure, and again, I don't know if it's because of like the limitless options, but there's been this pressure of make sure that you date around as much as you can so that you like almost like get it out of your system or like understand what you like, which I totally get. But then I also like, as a person, which like a person now who's like in a very steady relationship, I like, not that like it like haunts me or anything, but I like think like, did I date around enough? Not like I don't think Logan's the one, but it's just like, did I miss experiences? Yeah. And I think like the societal part of that makes me like struggle, or not struggle, but like think about it. And I'm like,
it wouldn't be a thought if this was like 40 years ago.
Right.
It wouldn't.
And I'm more so like,
well,
but then like I come out of that and I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I am a person who, I'm so grateful that I found my person. Like,
at a young age, right? The grass is greener.
Yeah, the grass is greener on the other side or whatever.
Greener.
I don't even think it's greener, but
you said actually that grass looks pretty brown.
It's looking a little rough. But I feel like there's such a pressure for that kind of thing in that conversation.
Yeah.
To more so like, then like when I'm in this steady relationship and I tell somebody like, yeah, you know, Logan's the first girl I've ever dated, and I know that she's the one. I even feel that pressure from like the gay community of like, how do you know?
Right.
And I'm like,
it doesn't matter from person to person if we're all saying, like, I've dated people, and then also just like I could see if it was like your first. But even then, people get married at their high school sweethearts.
And that's what I'm saying. Why does it have to be that?
Why does it have to be multiple people?
And I feel like that pressure is so fucking prevalent right now. And it bothers me for other people. I'm just like, leave them the fuck alone. Like, if somebody just wants to be by them fucking selves and figure out their own emotions and then be like, I'm ready for somebody. Why is that not okay? Like, why does it have to be that somebody needs to literally go fuck around in order to find themselves and know who they are and what they want?
I agree. I do think that like the take of dating multiple people doesn't necessarily have to be obviously having sex with them or like whatever, but I think the take, what was it called? Gaggling? What was it called?
The gaggle of men.
The gaggle of men. That whole episode, like having a gaggle of men, coming back, I guess, full circle, now having a different opinion on it. Maybe not different, but like varying perspective of like that. I guess I could see in one way how dating different men could have its perks.
Yeah, I see that.
I think it depends on the person, whether you need to date multiple people or not. And I guess like digging into the like, is it a societal push that I'm feeling? And that's why I want to be like dating around? Or is it that deep down inside I know how I behave in relationships or leading up to a relationship that I want to make sure, like, not I want to test the connection, but I want to like make sure that it is what I think it is before stepping into it seriously, I guess.
Yeah. I could see that perspective too.
Yeah. So it's like person to person, but I do see that it's like very generalized that like maybe everyone should be dating a bunch of people. But also like I see the benefit of both. I'm like, I see that there is a benefit of dating multiple people. I can see that point blank period, like why everyone in general could benefit from it. But I also see why some people benefit from just knowing what they want because they spent time alone and they worked on themselves. And I'm like, I think for me, I feel like both exist.
Yeah.
I'm like, I spent time alone, worked on myself, and now I'm being tested by dating a person, multiple people. So it's like, do I need to, you know, like it's just not.
No, I see it. I definitely can, like, I obviously speak from one side because I'm like, I feel so like questioned, not like somebody's actually said that to me, but like I feel so questioned overall by like society about like my
choice
decision and like where I'm at in my life. But then I also see like other people in my life who I'm like, yeah, y'all should really like fucking date around because A, like you need the experience, but also B, like by dating other people, you'll understand what you need, especially if like you've already dealt with like being alone and that's all you ever know or whatever. Like I feel like there's a lot to figure out and learn by like dating people. Like and I feel like also like you said, like I've dated people, so it's not necessarily like I don't know. Also would say is like you don't know like real dating, but I'm like,
well,
I'm exhausted.
College. You were in college too, babe.
Listen, I was traumatized and tumbled around. I'm fine. I know what the fuck I'm doing at this point. Okay, leave me alone.
Also, it's just like no one can explain the timing of life.
No,
and it's just it is what it is. Like the reason why you found someone earlier in life than someone else, or the reason you came out later than someone else, or what, like all these things. Like you could have dated other women. It's just the timing of life ended up being that the first one you met was the one that you're in love with, and that's totally fine. And I feel like the pressure overall from our generation, it's like date around, be super fucking direct.
And never settle.
Which
is fine.
Which, like, the whole thing our parents were taught was settle down.
Yeah.
Like, that was the exact words.
Down, girl.
Settle down. It's time to settle down. No settling down over here.
We're all just, like, teenage adults.
Truly. I saw someone comment on a video. Like, she put, like, me as a 27-year-old teenager. And someone was like, you literally are 27, babe. Like, do you know what math is? Like, you're not a teenager. And I was like, you are just, like, not chronically online like the
You're
rest
not
of us.
getting it. He said... Keep swiping.
I was like, just keep it moving.
So true, though. I feel like there's so much pressure everywhere you look, like about either fucking way you choose. It's wrong. It's the wrong way, which means it's the right way.
Which, like, whatever, you're doing what you're supposed to, I guess. Whether it's even if it's wrong, but you chose it, so it's still the right thing to be doing at this moment. But like dating app culture specifically, I think is so exhausting. But also, it's like, how do I not tap into dating app culture? Especially if you have a timeline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do I not tap into that if that's where our generation is looking to date? Because you go out and now people are less likely to come up to you. Because it's like, I have apps. And I feel that. I feel that too. If I see someone that's like, Logan loves to point out men and be like, he's cute. She
literally goes, oh.
Yeah, and I'm just like, he's like, whatever. And like, on one hand, totally valid. It doesn't mean I need to go up to every guy I see because of dating app culture. But like, I feel like men are also feeling that. And just everyone in general, like, we're less likely to go up to each other. And that's why we had to do this whole fucking like ring thing that they were going to do for singles. Oh, yeah. I hated that idea personally. I'm like, can we just get over the apps?
I'm so glad you said that because at one point Logan's like, should we get that for her birthday?
No, you...
And I was like, no, I don't think she would like that.
I'm like, single ladies. Fucking single ladies.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Hate. I get the idea. The idea is great, but it's also like
fun.
Fucking just come up to somebody. Like, I have put myself out there on multiple occasions to men, and I'm not here being like, oh my God, like, I'm not married to him now. Like, I am so butthurt. Like, no, you just keep fucking trying. And like, even though gender, whatever, like the guy's supposed to come to girl, whatever. Like, I just like the incel men who are like deeply terrified to speak to women. I empathize.
Figure it out. No. Figure it out.
I empathize to a degree, depending on your upbringing. Like, if we're gonna go psychological,
figure it out.
Y'all are commenting on our shit. I empathize to a degree, but then I'm like, but grow up.
Literally.
Like, that's the whole point of this podcast. Like, I empathize to a degree that we've all been through shit, but also because you were bullied in elementary school doesn't mean your whole life now you can blame that and be like, I'm never speaking to women because girls or people don't like me. I'm like, mental illness is a whole other thing. But like, okay. Just move fucking forward.
Yeah. I definitely agree.
Mental health.
I'm like, sometimes I'm like, shut up. Like, you can't speak on this. But like,
it's hard.
It's hard. Because like, I am where I am. But like, and again, because where I am around, maybe I'm fucking being bold, but like, if I were in this fucking time right now, dating somebody, or like, being single and dating, I think I would want to be as bold as like going up to people, because I literally don't feel like the apps are doing anything for anyone anymore. I feel like it's too fucking saturated. Everyone is just so, like, they feel so, honestly, like they feel too fucking
hot.
Like, they're hot shit to, like, actually match with somebody and have a real conversation and have real experiences with one another. Yeah. It's more so of just, like, it's a fucking game.
Yeah. And
you're playing a video game.
And I was telling you, it feels super, like, transactional and, like, icky at a certain point because I just, like, say no to a lot of the people that are on Hinge that are, like, liking me already. And it's not always because of looks, but after a certain point, regardless of why I'm saying no to these people, I'm like, this just feels like I'm literally playing a game. Like, I'm literally, like, judging somebody. Like, constant judging. And, like, of course, when you meet someone in person, you're judging them. Like, that's just inherent. Like, we are judging people.
But you're not doing to that
extent. Yeah, I don't know what your beliefs are, your age, the school you went to, the job you have. Like, I don't know any of that. Which is, like, I could see the benefits of knowing all that stuff up front, for sure. And that's why you say no to people on apps. But, like, I don't know. I feel like today they're just so much work. But, I mean, they're success stories. There are so many success stories. But I feel like all the ones I know are
exactly.
in the day.
I was going to say, and that's what I'm saying. Like, now it's become way too saturated.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm pulling in the work to just try to find men for my friends.
Trying to connect. Trying to see what's good.
Literally just connecting people with other people because I can't. I literally feel for you guys. Like, it sounds difficult.
It is. And I don't know what to do about that. Because, like, there's some men that aren't. There's some people that are not on dating apps. Mm-hmm. And I meet them in the wild and I'm like.
And they're not on it because for a reason.
And it's weird that they're not on apps, but they are meeting people. So it's like.
Because I'm telling you,
so you guys, have the balls to come up to people.
I'm literally telling you, like, I think the good people have stopped going on apps because it's exhausting.
Yeah.
So it's just like, just find the fucking balls.
Yeah.
Or the guts, whatever you want to call it, to go up to somebody and say, hey, I think you're attractive.
And that's all I know about you right now.
And that's all I know. No, don't say that, but just say, I find you attractive. Do you want to talk a little bit? Can I get your number?
Depending on where you're at, right? Like,
yeah.
Do I have time for a moment? No.
If you have a moment, if you don't, just can I get your number?
Yeah.
Do you want to dance?
I think there is, like, a level of traditional that we need to go back to.
No, there's a middle ground. There really is.
Between, like, settling for just the first attractive person you meet with no interest and no compatibility, or just judging everyone to the harshest degree.
I really feel like it lies on our generation, to be honest, because we're the last to fix all of this.
But you think apps are going to die?
I don't know if they're going to die, but I do
They'll
think...
have their purpose.
I think that there needs to be a big shift. And I feel like it's really up to this generation because we are the last ones who really know what it is prior to all of this experience and after this experience. So it's like literally merging the two and making one because it's rough out there, and we can't keep letting other people dictate how we try to connect with one another because it's just not... It doesn't work out a lot of the time.
And I do still see the benefit of apps, though, and that's, like, the hard part. Because you meet people...
Maybe it could be, like, you meet in person, you're like, hey, do you have blah, blah, blah? Do you have a profile? Blah, blah, blah. And then you go on and you're like, oh, how cute. I love that you do this. This is whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there could be...
But do you know what the worst part is? Is, like, when you meet someone on an app and then they're friends... Like, you're more compatible with. Yeah, or cuter. And you're like...
Girl, that's a real life experience as well, though. I've had that in the past.
Right? Okay. It's
didn't meet them on that, but then I'm like, oh, I'm not dating the most attractive person in the friend group.
That hurts.
That's a topic.
That hurts. Not dating the most attractive person in the friend group.
That is a topic.
No, that actually really hurts. Wait, do people think that about us?
I've never thought about it in the reverse.
No.
No. We're all the same.
We're equally just as amazing. No, literally I was telling someone, like, you think I'm great, but, like, my friends are just as good. So, like...
So why me?
I need a reason.
Am I easy?
List them. No.
No, yeah.
But that's such a different
take. That's a different take.
I don't like that. But actually, I don't know what the fix is, per se. Like, if it's like, we all fucking veto the apps and try and meet people in real life. Or it's just, this is organically what's supposed to happen for all of us. Like, if you believe in divine timing or whatever, like, we're all meant to be in this space of dating.
And now we're going to figure it out.
I'm going to be the advocate for change.
You heard it here first. And I will help facilitate.
Through the podcast, right? I don't know. Are you guys fucking struggling through dating? Are you on the apps?
Oh my god, I'm just like thinking about the next time that you're gonna be like, so.
Oh my god, we do
I
a whole
have a
announcement.
boyfriend.
We have a whole announcement
It
video.
has to be though.
I'm dead. People literally think you're single based on our trailers.
Oh
No
yeah,
one would date you too.
Literally, no one would date me.
I'm like, well, that could be true about me still. I'm like, well, somebody might believe that about me. I'm single, but
you respond, nope, just one of us.
only one of us. You're wrong. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Anyway, we just this is a very like I feel like it could go so many ways. So maybe we'll take pieces of this and make other
more
episodes
yeah.
because this can go on forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, if you liked this episode, also if you didn't listen to Wednesday's episode, go listen to that. We feel really good about that one.
Yeah, that one was funny and informative.
But just overall, keep yourself updated with our stuff. We put things out every Wednesday and Friday. I don't think we've ever reminded people or said anything about that.
Wednesday and Fridays.
Wednesday and Fridays is when
Yeah.
we post. And yeah, thanks for listening. Go like our or go. What do we say? Go.
What are you gonna? Go interact.
Go interact. Go and follow our pages. And yeah, rate and review whatever you want to do this podcast. We really appreciate it. And honestly, any feedback's really important to us.
Yeah, we love
Even those men.
Even those. It was interesting to see a different side, different take.
We're not butthurt by it. But anyway.
Brings it up in every episode since. I'm not butthurt. I'm not butthurt at all.
But anyway, we'll catch you guys on next week's episode. Again, thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.